The current spoiler warning level is Azure.
Friends and folks, for this episode, you're looking at a spoiler warning level of Azure. We're talking about stuff from Seed and Seed Destiny, and I don't think any of it's spoilery. It's just machines that exist. Please enjoy the episode. Hello friends and folks, and welcome back to another episode of Mechanista in G. I guess this is coming out in the new year. I guess it'll be the New Year's Day.
I didn't think about that.
I'm Sixtamar.
And I'm Dylan.
Yeah, we're recording this the day before, Christmas Eve. So Christmas Double Eve, as it's colloquially known. Nobody I know does that but
Okay.
me.
I was gonna say, who does that? But okay, now I know it's you. You does that.
I think I started doing it because of retail, right? Where it's just like the whole week is bad because of its proximity to Christmas, and so it's just like starting Sunday, you're like, yeah, it's Christmas quadruple E.
Okay.
So the countdown from there.
Yeah. All right. Well.
4 days until our lives theoretically get better. Rolling dice.
Is that how it's supposed to work?
Elaborate. Is how what's supposed to work.
The new year, our lives are supposed to get better.
Oh no, I don't give a shit about that. I'm saying in retail, once Christmas passes, things start to improve.
yes. Okay, that is true.
It's been hell on earth. So
yeah, no, that is true. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, now I understand. Okay.
Well, sure, I guess this can be one way to celebrate the new year, right? We could do this. Do I sound enthusiastic?
Well,
it could be worse.
Well, alright. Let's see.
This will be hard to make hard.
Well, that's good for me, at least.
What if I... Yeah, let's have a little fun with this.
Okay.
You'll get it pretty quick, but that's fine.
Is this the GOOhN?
Yes, we're starting the new year by GOOhN.
God damn, shut up! Don't say that. Oh yeah, no, I saw that. I was like, oh yeah. Here's the thing, I like the GOOhN. It's like.
Right. As I said, like we rolled Cosmic Era, and I was like, okay, and then we rolled the GOOhN. I was like, okay.
Yeah, of the Cosmic Era aquatic guys, I think the GOOHN's a good one. I think Gokora did a pretty good job with the GOOhN. Yeah, alright. So this is a mobile suit from Gundam Seed. It is a aquatic mobile suit made by Zaft. For attacking the Earth. And, what do we see it do on Earth, really? It's been a couple years now, and I can't even remember. I think they mostly just get destroyed when we see them.
Yeah, I don't think it, this isn't...
It's not like a named pilot.
Seed is not actually First Gundam, where they show new suits off by proving that they're a threat. That's not really what they do in that show.
Yeah, the one named character is, so the named pilot is some guy named Hans. He's introduced in episode 22, The Sea Dyed Red. First appearance, deceased. So, yeah, So, to describe this suit, the head and the body, and even the shoulder armor, honestly, are basically all one piece. It's basically shaped kind of like a ray, like a manta ray or something.
Sure. Yeah.
Just thinking about the general shape going on with it, I guess. You've got, so, on the front of it, you have embedded in the front face of it a face. You've got this, what would I say the shape is? like an eyeball shape, I guess. Like, it's like a circle, but the ends are pointed.
It's a football.
And then the mono eye is
or an almond,
and it's facing vertically. The mono eye is located a little more than halfway down. There's just like a little cut in it with a little green mono eye on the inside. It's got a little like brown piece embedded in the top middle of it. The outside corners of the or not even really corners, just the outside edges of the top of the head have these like little orange pieces in them. They're lined in black, though. It's funny because the sete is wrong here. The front, you can see that they're not filled in the outline, but you can see on the back they are. There are 2 cannons located to the left and right of the eye. These are phonon masers, which this is kind of funny because that is the same weapon that the Zoc in First Gundam has. Is called the phonon maser instead of a beam cannon. Then is a maser like a laser but microwaves? I think so. I think it's instead of light, it's microwaves amplified.
I tried to search maser on Google, and because Google's so good, it searched Maserati. Thanks, man. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
Yep. No microwave amplification. Yep. Okay.
So interestingly enough, they do animate these properly, wherein, so, it's weird. In the animation, you see green beams coming out. The green beams are not the phonon maser. The phonon maser is actually invisible to the naked eye, but it's a coaxial targeting laser that shows where it's going, so it looks like the green beam. That's kind of a fun excuse to have it drawn.
But that's not true, though, right? Like, I know they say that, but you see it charge up. You don't charge up a targeter. What are you talking about?
Look, don't worry about it. Then, so below the 2 masers, you've got these little intake vent parts below. Below those, you actually have sort of a pectoral thing going on. Like, this area is still sectioned kind of like a body. You've got 2, like, bumps of pectoral armor. And then below that, you've got this, like, gray section of armor with I presume that's the cockpit hatch in the middle, just, like, as a block. And there's some venting in the, like, between the tan armor and then that gray section I was talking about. It's got these little tick director things that a lot of vents will sometimes have. And then more armor below that, just more of the tan armor going on. Though it looks like this piece might be, this piece is like a sort of a darker tan brown piece. Just in the very, like, where it connects into the waist here, just this little middle part. And then on the back of this, since this doesn't really have a backpack, there is a fin. The fin is brown on the front, other than when you're looking at this art, where they didn't color that in. It is funny. This is actually kind of common in Seed, how many times the sete is miscolored. It's not the only show, but I swear that Seed has a lot of example where, like, if you take the front, back, and, like, transformations, or just the front and back sete, there will be a lot of, like, random miscolors. And, so here, though, the fin has a little cannon facing forward on it. This is, I believe, the rifle dart launcher. It fires aquatic darts. That, the way that it describes them as piercing the target and destroying them from within, I presume they have some type of explosive in them, so the idea is it pierces in and then explodes.
Makes sense.
And then to the left and right on this backpack, on this back area, you've got, like, very big Gundam-style chest vents, but, like, they're on the back here. But it's got, the 3 slats. And the slats are in orange. For the shoulder armor on either side, it's pretty simple in design. It's just the tan armor on the front and back, located partway, in the like sort of in the middle of the shoulder armor, facing out at an angle, you've got these little vents or thrusters, possibly like water thrusters. Who knows? It could be either or. And then you've got an extra layer of armor that is coming out like a little fin on the sides. And it's relatively flat. You can see when it's transformed that, you know, it's a very thin piece of armor. Then the biceps are brown with a panel line going down the middle of them. Nothing too fancy there. Just your standard kind of, you know, 2-axle joint. Just like the little gray block in there. The forearms are brown with... You've got some vents on the back of the forearms facing upward. And then you've got... Going from like the wrist area forward, you've got a bunch of torpedo tubes. These are the 1030mm Mark 70 super cavitating... Oh, no. Sorry. These are the 533mm 7-barrel torpedoes. So 533 millimeters. Mentions that they are rocket propelled, can be used both in and out of water, which makes them... Is it still a torpedo if you can use it out of the water? Because wouldn't that be a missile then?
I mean, I believe if you can fire it from within the water,
it's always a torpedo.
It's a torpedo. I think that's right.
All right, and then that
looks like the definition of it says yes. It is, you know, in our time, I believe it's usually.
Well,
you know,
I think usually we can't use a torpedo on land, generally.
Well, okay, so, I mean, I guess the thing is there's not much point to doing that in the real world.
Yeah, well,
right?
I guess there's not, like... we don't... Usually vehicles that...
Water resistance...
Yeah.
Water resistance is a motherfucker. Doing a, like, underwater to air strike is a dumb idea.
Yeah, because usually what you would instead have is, like, a submarine would have devoted missile launchers that cannot be used in the water and only, like, you know, vertically launching. Mm-hmm. So it would surface and then be able to fire them vertically.
Yeah, the modern tech still hasn't caught up with Goku when he fought Frieza. But again, who has?
But, like, not only that, but also I was like, we generally don't really have, like, vehicles that do both, other than, again, submarines, I guess, but the submarine does have to surface and fire them separately, like, have a separate weapon suite there. And if we design infantry vehicles as amphibious, I think it's usually seen as actually, like, not a great feature, because it's like, okay, well, you've waterproofed this truck a bit so it can be amphibious, but that was really expensive, and it's not like we're gonna make it have water-devoted weapons, you know? So.
Yeah.
Anyway. So those are on, like, the overhangs of the wrist. Located, also, you've got 2 hands. The hands are kind of sunken in, but it does have 5 fingers. They're not, like, weird hands or anything. So it does have, like, fully featured manipulators. Just doesn't really use them for anything. For the waist, you've got the central crotch piece. On the bottom of it, you've got, like, a big fin wedge going... It's on both the back and the front, actually. These look basically the same. Just the waist is designed the same way, so it's got, like, a big fin sticking out at an angle both on the front and back. You also have 2 flaps sticking down kind of as side skirts, protecting the sides of the legs. The legs are very squat. You've got the thigh, which... I guess the thigh is a normal-sized thigh, I think, for, like, a mobile suit. It's in the dark brown, same as the arms and the waist. You've got, like, a bit of panel lining, but nothing too fancy or detailed on it. The calves are where it gets really small, because it kind of... They're squat, and the feet are fused into them. So you've got a little bit of a knee thing going on, where it's, like, a little panel with a vent on it. Then you've got... The sides of the calves are a bit rounded with these little plates of gray that I assume these might be, like, just some water jets facing downward on the legs, given that they are open. It also has one on the back bell bottom of the calf there. And then you've got... The feet are like I said, they're kind of just combined with the leg here, because you've got some gray armor on the front of the calf that is separating the two toes, and is, like, in gray, pops, like, a little more forward in the middle to divide the toes, and has a little bump of armor on the top. And then the toes are just, like, two of these longer pieces in that, like, dark tan color. They're very flat, relatively speaking. Well, I guess looking at them from the side, they're more like... they're not high heels, it's high toes, I guess. They look flat from the front, but actually looking at it there, it's like a big square piece for the base of the toe and then a triangular piece at the end, and it kind of stands on the ends of the toes. You also have, coming out of the back of the leg, a square, like, heel piece that then has, like, a little triangular wedge also sticking back, giving it, like, a high heel. And yeah, that's the GOOhN. It has a transformation. Its transformation is it lays down flat and it tucks its arms. It's very much like how the GOG in First Gundam, quote unquote, transforms, where it lays down flat and kind of just tucks the arms in.
It does what I thought when I first heard the term planking was. And I was like, that doesn't seem very hard. So I've been looking at torpedoes on Wikipedia to try and answer some of our questions. I'm not seeing any examples of what they say it does here, where, it goes to the air. I do have a few fun tidbits that are mostly just historical stuff, right? But first of all, here is the first torpedo.
Oh, is this going to be a weird looking thing? Yeah! Whoa.
It is basically an underwater mine that waves around.
Okay.
So
it's like on a weight, and then it's got the rope. Okay, yeah, and then that's so weird. It just kind of pendulums. Okay.
Which is kind of represented when you start talking about the first attempts at, like, guidance, right? Because originally torpedoes were unguided, right? And eventually you start to get, like, wire guidance and radio guidance, and then, like, homing stuff, right? But before you get to, like, proper guidance, oops, I accidentally scroll a little bit. You get, I believe, let's see, who came up with this weird idea? Yeah, Germany was in the Second World War was like, what if we didn't have torpedoes couldn't get any new information, but they just sort of, like, tried to cover the spread, right? So we just have them zigzag back and forth until they hit something.
Okay, now, in the modern day with, like, computers and whatnot, obviously this is unnecessary, but I see how you get here.
Yeah.
Because if you're not expecting any allies to be in the water, then yeah, no, firing a torpedo that would just zigzag, especially if you're trying to hit, like, boats on the surface, like, zigzag along the surface, just under the surface. That does make sense, actually. It's like when you play a shmup and you can pick your shot pattern and you get, like, the wiggly beams. It's the same idea.
Yeah, true.
If you're going back and forth, you're maybe more likely to hit something when firing more randomly. So, yeah.
And then my other fun fact about torpedoes is just, explaining, what supercavitating means, which I'm sure we're about to talk about, right?
So the final weapon, the one not, like, it's built into the body, but, like, it's not necessarily visible immediately, is those two orange hatches on the top of the head there. They can pop open, and there are large torpedoes within. I'm pretty sure that's where they are. I can't find it firing them, funnily enough, in the show. But this is presumably where they are going off the description. They are 10-30mm Mark 70 supercavitating torpedo. These only function in the water, so you cannot use these on the surface, unlike the wrist ones, which can still operate as, like, missile launchers on the surface. They're very powerful, apparently difficult to use. I'm curious about, I guess because it can only be used in the water. But, yeah.
Like most torpedoes?
Yeah, well, it's like, yeah, no. I'm curious about what it means by difficult to use, but... And yeah, so supercavitating torpedoes. Explain what those are since you've been reading about them.
So supercavitating is, well, cavitation is when basically a liquid like flows around something so fast it boils, right? So supercavitating is when you have like an object that moves fast enough is designed such to sort of artificially force this effect, which makes your drag really minimal because it's much easier to pass through, a gas than a liquid, right? But as best as I can tell, it basically is just like a torpedo that's just boiling the water as it goes.
Yeah, it's really cool looking too,
which is crazy.
Here's like a photo of like what it looks like theoretically. Oh, is it not letting me? Why are you not letting me paste in here? Hold on, let me take a screenshot and see if it'll let me paste that. No, what is going? Hold on, let me reload FigJam because for some reason it's not letting me paste anything. This is gonna be. Wait a minute. Did you see my name above the mouse? No, I'm as a guest. No. Oh, I see. When I opened up Figma, I think I just accidentally opened up a shortcut straight to the board. And so I'm not logged in.
Oh, okay. It's not boiling the water. That would be crazy.
It's not
okay. Well, I was reading about it and I was like, how does it even do that? So what it's actually doing basically is it uses a rocket engine and it vents the gas out the nose and the gas becomes like the bubble.
Well, I mean, it would heat it though. It would superheat the water still.
Sure, but there's the ocean. There's a lot of ocean.
Yeah.
Even to boil a small bit,
here's what it looks like.
Get,
by the way. So that's cool. That's a torpedo that's the super cavity is. So theoretically, I guess would be the thing is it's traveling pretty quick.
Oh yeah. Here's you have there the Shkval, which is this one right here. You can see there's the nose of it. There's this little gas emitter.
Oh, that's big too. That's bigger than I realized looking at that.
So, this is a Russian missile or torpedo that was developed in the late 70s. Was properly introduced in the 90s. And we don't know how fast it goes because, of course, it's a military weapon currently in service. So Russia won't tell us, which of course not, right?
Yeah.
But as best as we can tell, it's probably around 290 miles an hour.
Underwater, too. That's ridiculous.
Underwater.
I like that it has a guidance wire, too. Like, I always think it's fun when you see that on a missile, like, or a torpedo, where it actually has just the wire guiding on it. Which Gundam has used in a very funny effect, because that's how the Blue Destiny's missiles work, but it's weird on that one, but, well, probably.
It's fun, because, like, you'd think, like, well, that's a really unsophisticated way to do it, right? Why would you use a wire? But other more sophisticated forms of guidance have real problems, right? If you want it to be, like, radio guided, they eventually developed near the end of World War II, though it wasn't incorporated till after, like, frequency switching. But, like, when they first deployed that, they were like, okay, and it's going to broadcast on, I'm just going to pick a number, I'm sorry, but like 857.11. And then German ships would just send out noise on that channel and the missile would get jammed.
Well, that's the thing, right? Unless you're putting it unless you're somehow putting a miniature computer within the missile, which I do think we do with some missiles in the modern day. But, like, if you're doing it remotely, though, remote sensors can be jammed or messed up in various ways. And also, it's really expensive when you're putting whole computers in a thing meant to ram something and explode, And you gotta do it in these.
The other thing you can do is you can just give it its own sonar, right? And just be like, hey, this is the direction to go in, and then ping and chase the ping, right? But what's the downside of that?
Well, if you give it its own sonar and it pings, what if there's something else in the water that you don't necessarily want to hit? Or...
That is a possibility, right? Though generally you start by firing it the right direction. The big problem is you're constantly announcing where the torpedo is.
Because, sonar has to ping out, and it can be heard. It's the same reason why using a submarine's ping is a little spooky when you're on a sub, like in enemy waters, because even though it tells you where everything is, you're also broadcasting a large sound that is telling everyone where you are.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Plus, there's also ways of fucking with sonar. I mean, there's ways of fucking with most guidance, but yeah. But, like, if it's wire guided, you know, it's at least cheaper.
It's cheaper, and, you know, you need a decent bit of wire, but, like, there's kind of no real way to interfere with that unless you want someone coming up behind that wire with wire cutters, which is not very practical.
Someone going up to, like, a wire cutter on, like, a tow missile is really funny an idea to me. Oh, that's so funny. Anyway. Yeah, so it has 2 of those in the head, though, and theoretically they are quite devastating, though I'm not really seeing it used, at least in the screenshots, and I don't want to dig through the episodes. Now, I do really like, when it is in the water mode, the way that it can just pop the wrist missiles down. Oh, wait, okay. Small correction. This little hole in the top is so the mono eye can look forward when it is moving like that, like mono eye moves up the track on the little diamond on the head. That's fun. And I like the way it can just pop the arms down and fire these torpedoes that way. Which, while these are half the size and these are not super cavitating, it does have 7 of them. Or, well, it has 7 barrels. Theoretically, it may have more torpedoes loaded within, given how thick these wrists are. Though I don't know, how long are these wrist torpedoes? Let's see. Okay, yeah, they're not very big, looking at the design for them. Because, you know, some torpedoes can be quite long. But these ones, they're little guys. You could probably fit at least one other one behind them there.
So, my big problem with this design, I like it mostly, right? The way the hands are here, these, like, torpedo launchers don't, like, fold away. So it can't, like, do anything elaborate with these hands anyway with this shit in the way. Why didn't you just give them claws? Like a good design.
I mean, yeah, that's the question. Especially, probably because the Xeno has claws in Seed, and they want it to be, like, distinct from the Xeno.
Here's the crazy thing. In the Universal Century, multiple machines have claws.
You're not wrong.
Here's also, them being fired. I do like its original design better.
Oh, the early art, yeah. Honestly, a lot of the Seed early art is really cool looking. I like. Now, I did find out that the reason Okawara uses these colors is more to distinguish, like, vents and thrusters and whatnot. But I think that these colors look cool, because he does the same thing with, if you look at, like, his G-Savior art, I realized he uses this kind of gray and then orange and blue a lot, and it seems more to distinguish things rather than the final colors. But when I see it, my brain goes, these should be the final colors because it looks great.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's like, is it like red is propulsion, blue is venting? Is the idea?
I think in this way, it's the other way around, because blue on the thrusters. And then, I mean, it might also just be to distinguish what things are, because, like, these are the doors, right, that move open.
True.
So it might just be, hey, these are important parts and I'm highlighting them in different ways rather than, like, specific, you know, all of them being, like, tied to specific things.
But I'm still an artist and I want it to look cool, so I'm using 2 colors for this.
Another example of him using those colors is the J-Savior, which is the gym based on the G-Savior.
The J-Savior's so good.
But, yeah, a lot of his early Seed art has it, though, and I like this design more. Now, there are some ways that I like the way the mono eye can move up on this design to look forward when it's, like, doing its laydown thing. But yeah, no, this track in general is really cool looking. And then, funnily, that's basically the main change looking at it, because it's mostly just this head, because looking at the rest of it, it actually keeps a lot of it. Now, it's more detailed looking because this is Okawara coloring this as opposed to animation sete, but yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I did find art also, thank you MAHQ for this, of the super cavitating missiles, or torpedoes. They're decently long. This is how these just slide open to the side.
not how I would.
I kind of thought they would be at like a door, like on a hinge or something.
Yeah,
like
just
flip.
But I guess you know what? The thing about doing that is, if you're going really fast, the water pressure would just snap off. Maybe.
Yeah, nope. That's actually that makes sense. I didn't think about that, but funnily, compared to the wiki, just to have him both on the screen at once, there is this colored version of the Sete from MHQ, and it does have the brown in the right place. I'm wondering I'm wondering where this comes from. When I see how clean this line work is, my brain starts thinking of like the Diagostini, little like the Gundam Perfect file and fact file, and those also sometimes get colors really weird. So maybe I can't entirely blame it on Seed Sete always being weird, but yeah.
I really like this image of it swimming on its back and just casually firing a torpedo.
Okay, that's pretty good. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. It's like a...
And also,
Oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
Sorry. I was just going to post another image. I also like... I don't think that it... Because I don't think these episodes are good and this show is good, I can't find as much affection for this shot, but I really like when the Strike Force fights this thing, and it basically fights it like a Republic serial, like movie hero, like grabbing a shark with a knife.
Oh, right, because it grabs the fin, and then that's funny. It's got the armor Schneider. It's pretty funny.
It's a good pose.
And yeah, sometimes, also, the GOOHN's mono eye is miscolored. Now, to be fair, it's because, generally speaking, most mono eyes are pink, so I see how an animator does this on accident, because...
You know what would be cool? I know this is not what's happening. It would be cool if it changed to pink when it was above the water.
Yeah, 2 different camera modes, okay. That would be pretty cool.
That would be cool. That's not what's happening.
But, this guy needs a modern model. Now, funnily, it does have a model. It got one of the no-grade ones back in the day. And it makes me sad because there's actually a couple of original C designs that only got the no-grade models that I wish had, like, no offense to the no-grades, like a real model. Which is to say, the GOOHN and the GWAYS. So, the GOOHN's model is, because it's a no-grade, very simple. Like, no color separation at all. This is a 2003 kit for 400 yen, so very simple. And then I don't remember if I showed it during the GWAYS episode, but they actually did a GWAYS model also, and it makes me so mad because the GWAYS is like my favorite original seed design, and they've only done this like no grade, not very good looking kit of it. And I would like it if it had like a real kit. Anyway. But yeah, that's basically it for the GOOHN. It's, you know, have we talked about the Xeno in a different episode? I feel like we did, but I can't remember. But that's
I don't remember what this is.
Its counterpart. Looks like when I look up Xeno Mechanista, I'm not seeing it actually, so.
Do I remember what this thing is?
It's the other aquatic suits, the one that's even more of a Zagok. Here.
We're drawing a blank.
Right, here, I'm looking at. Where are you at? There you are.
Oh, right, this thing. This thing looks like, until you look at the head, this thing looks like it's from fucking Unicorn.
Funnily, you know what? We'll talk about this at the end of the episode, because I just noticed something. This has no related units or anything, so... Huh. And this is the successor to the GOOHN, because UMF-4 to 5.
Is Xeno how you're supposed to say it? I always thought it was Xeno.
I don't know, It probably is Xeno. When I see the capital Z and then the N and the O like that, my brain goes Xeno.
Sure.
But it could just be... I mean, the katakana is Zono, so yeah.
Alright. Well.
But...
let's talk about the machine that became...
yeah. This one's a fun one. We've got... it's a GINN variant. This is the GINN FEMWS.
FEMWS.
Looking at the katakana, it looks like it is actually like FEMWS. FEMWS.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this is a design by Beatcraft that I think showed up... okay, it was originally designed for Seed MSV, And then, okay, these are from the video game. Okay, I was curious. I was like, what are these screenshots from? They're from the video game Never-Ending Tomorrow, where it shows up. I believe we also see a FEMWS in one of the build shows.
It's so weird that they like did a remaster, I guess you would say, of Never-Ending Tomorrow, because who fucking cares? But
wait, they did?
Wasn't that
No,
Steam?
the Steam one's the Battle Universe series one. It's Seed Battle Destiny or whatever. And that's actually a good game because those are the Art Dink ones that for the PSP. That one's a remake of a Vita game actually, but I
see. Well, you can tell how much attention I'm paying because I saw Seed and
Never-Ending Tomorrow though is just the what if we made Encounters in Space worse somehow. I mean, Encounters in Space is fine.
Oh man, I wish we could post GIFs. Oh, I wish we could post GIFs. The GIF on the Steam page for Battle Destiny Remastered of the character creator of just the same helmet, the same smile, the same nose, and you're just changing from in shadow the bangs very slightly.
Funny.
Is extremely funny.
All right, so the GINN FEMWS is essentially a halfway between the GINN and the GOOhN. So the head is separate. It's got a mono-eye head that is like its own head here. Though, well, I say that, it can't really turn it very much, though, because attached to the back of it is, like, the water jets and a fin with, like, the dart launcher. But the front of the head, you've got... It's rounded along the top, and it's rounded on the sides. You've got some darker... It's light blue with darker blue framing the face. The face has, like, the little embedded mono-eye. It is, very Geo-GOOhN looking, like, with the way it's got the eye cuts here going down and such. Pink mono-eye on the inside. You've got a vent, or, like, a, mask with, like... It's not really the cables, but you've got these, sections that are separate, like little cylinders with these cuts on the front of them going into the little mask. It's a GINN head / a Zaku head / it is a mono-eye, this kind of suit head. The main weirdness is the back of the head now looks like it has long hair because it's got this whole apparatus with the water jets on the back and the big fin and whatnot all attached to the head.
It also looks like it says EEE on the back.
Yeah, the way these the way these three vents are handled, because you're looking at the back of them. They're like the vents with the little, dash thingy in the middle, the little divider. But yeah, it looks like EEE. EEE. E.
I do that one all the time.
The torso is similarly, like, the shapes are similar to the GOOhN, but again, because this is done like a normal mobile suit, it's, the pectorals, the cockpit hatch, the midsection is elongated a little bit, but it's all very simple in detail. There's no vents or anything like cut in or any fanciness to this torso. It's just various sections. The shoulders are like very rounded on the front. It's got this little corner of orange armor. They go around the top of the shoulder, and then coming out of the side, you've got this thin bit of, like, this thin pauldron for helping cut through the water when it's in the swim mode. Because presumably this is also going to lay flat. The arms, bicep, very simple, panel line on the front, double axle joint. The forearms, the vents on the back look like they're a little... No, they are the same, actually. I was looking, double checking. No, it's the same exact design as the GOOHN's arms, with the vents on the back, the little torpedo launchers.
A little less bulky,
yeah,
and bigger hands.
Yeah, the hands look larger here for sure. Then it's 7 barrel torpedoes, though. Then you've got on the crotch plate, you've got this big blue piece of armor right above, and then it's got the fin on the front and the back of the crotch area. The legs, you've got pretty much the same thigh design, actually, too, but instead of having side skirts, you've got these little plates of armor on the sides of the thigh. And then the lower legs, same thing. It's pretty much the same as the GOOHN's lower legs. Same little water vents on the sides, same foot design. So yeah, this is a weird suit. Now, I think it has more weapons than what it says here. because it only says the 7-barrel launcher. But if you look at like stuff like the top of the head, there's clearly little holes here. And then if you look on the fin, it looks like it has the dart launcher on the fin. And these are not places where you would put a thruster facing forward on these, so I am leaning on this having armaments that are not mentioned on the wiki. I'm checking MHQ, just because I'm curious if any other... Yes, okay, MHQ does mention rifle dart launchers. 2 of them, actually, so I'm wondering if it's 2 in the head now, especially given how tall this head is. And then, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that would be, though, still on the fin, but... Yeah. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. I'm seeing something.
Mm-hmm.
Did we talk about this in Mechanista 129? Yes, we did! We talked about this in Mechanista 129, the GINN episode. Well, whatever. We covered it again.
Huh. Well,
we covered it quickly here, too, so that's fine.
I mean, it is a GINN,
yeah.
So that makes sense.
I was thinking it at first. I was like, maybe not. And then when I looked up MAHQ to see like if there was any additional art or anything, no, we did cover it. It turns out. All right, and then for the other GOOhN, we've got a developed afterwards one. This is a weird mobile suit. Well, we have a prototype of the weird one, and then we have the actual animated one. The GOOhN Underground Mobility Test Type.
Finally a GOOhN I just straight up like. The GOOhN is okay. This one rules.
Yeah, so this is a funny one, because what if instead of a aquatic suit, we turn it into a mole for going through dirt and underground? So it's kind of doing like the Ags deal from First Gundam, is what if we just drilled through the earth?
But it also, like, visually speaking, it is pulling like crab, like chitin, far more than the GOOhN.
So interestingly, okay, so to the overall face is the same, and it's got the masers in the same area on the sides of the mono eye. The lower body is simplified now because it's just a singular plate with the cockpit hatch in the middle. The whole of this body also... I should mention, the missile tube launchers are changed in design then because they're not used for missile tubing. These are now, I believe, used for helping, like, evacuate rock through it. So it's just got these 2 big holes on the head.
Sure.
Then on the back, it still has the fin, funnily enough, though. The dart launcher has been removed, and it's got these big, great openings on the back. Surrounding this entire body, though, is, like, several bits of, like, hanging armor, which is really fun. I like this a lot. So you've got 3 hanging off the bottom, 1 middle piece, and then 2 side pieces that are, angled depending on which side they're on. And then you have more of those going around the shoulder, and the shoulders are made up of 7 pieces. It looks like you've got 3 facing the front, the 1 in the top middle, and then the 3 on the back. And, the way they wrap around, it goes around the shoulder like shoulder armor, but it's got a whole bunch of these. And then on the back, you have 2 of them below these little openings on the back of the suit. The arms, the biceps are the same. The forearms, we've removed the missile launchers, and we've added giant 3-finger claws. It's got like a little thumb claw, and then 2 normal claws. Then you do still have the side skirts on the sides of the legs there. The crotch, we've removed the fins from it. It just has like a big thruster or something on the bottom of it. Then the legs are mostly the same, though the toes are a different design. And the coloring on the legs is interesting here, because the lower half of the calves are in red, other than where the thruster is, which is kind of fun. Just these big red bits going around it. And then, yeah. So this has a few different things on it. It still has the phone on masers, as mentioned, and it has the digging claws. This has a quote-unquote scale system, which is... This comes up in some other seed things. It is made by Zaft. It vibrates a bunch of mechanical scales all over the body. So the armor is actually... When you see that it looks like it has like a texture on it, this is appropriate because this is covered in little armor scales that basically move around loose soil or sand around it. It can still be used for underwater propulsion, though they can't stand high pressures because the scales are actually more fragile in terms of like their density. So if you go into high pressure ocean, it'll just crush it'll crush them.
It also can't handle like thicker layers of rock. The pressure of like a very
it can't go like super deep into the
rock
ground.
will also
this is not like digging through the earth, but yeah. And then it has subsurface radar and an acoustic search system on it. This is an interesting suit though. So it's made to dig through the ground. It mentions that the scale system is just installed on the quote unquote surface. So I'm presuming this armor around it just has that, and then it would basically crush and liquefy surrounding rock and soil. And then it's shuttled back through all the ports on the body. So that's, all these like little ports going on are for shuffling the rocks, around the body. Which is cool.
We're all suspending disbelief, but I don't think it could probably do that.
It's fine.
It's fine. I'm just noting.
It has subsurface radar and acoustic search system, so these are obviously made for underwater or being underground. There are limitations to the sensors, though. It's the subsurface radar is easily affected by changes in the conductivity of soil, so it has low accuracy at longer distances. And the acoustic system cannot be used with the scale system active, which makes sense because if the scale system's a bunch of little vibrating motors, it's going to be making a lot of like noise on the mobile suit. Which, obviously, if you're using sound, an acoustic system, then that's not going to work. It can't break through thicker rock layers, so you have to know what the geological, conditions of where you're going through there. So, basically, this is a very specialized invasion suit for very specific situations. But it's really cool. So...
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about its successor, which is nearly identical, and it has some cool accomplishments.
Yeah, so we have the successor, I guess, then. We'll just go straight into it. The Geo-GOOhN, which is a good name. I like that name for it being
it's a good name.
Underground Mobility Test Type is a very MSV style name of straight to the point. But Geo-GOOhN is that's a fun one. So yeah, the Geo-GOOhN's design is essentially the same. The coloration's a bit different, but it's essentially the same suit. Just the design parts are all the same. Doesn't have as nice a coloring because we're looking at sete meant for animation as opposed to a design that was made for Seed MSV. And the Geo-GOOhN shows up in, it looks like, is it the HD? No, this is in the HD remaster of, wait, Destiny. Oh, weird, okay. But I'm wondering, were they in original? Okay, I think they were in original Destiny also. It's just that the wiki swapped to all the HD screenshots, though. Okay.
Sure. Of course they did. When are we going to get a D-special edition?
Removes the random panty shots they decided to add.
Or even just, I mean, honestly, if you just fucking fix, the death of our boy, Nicole, and make it not cowardly bullshit again.
Oh, for original.
I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, for both, but yes. I mean, I love because the Seed, I'm not, because the production of Seed is generally bad looking. I'm not going to make any specific accusations, but I love that they're like, yeah, the way it drills is by tunneling with its claws. Here's its drilling. Its claws are not involved. It's just headbutting a rock.
Which again, though, because it has the scale system, the armor is theoretically vibrating, so that makes sense.
But you would need to make an opening first.
That's fair.
And then, the scale system would push through once you've given it, a little bit of leverage, but you can't, maybe, I guess this is underwater.
It's going from
Perhaps
water
the
into,
water meeting the rock is it's softer material here, so it's more doable.
Though I do love it busting into the base there. Oh, it's gonna suck to be those guys in a moment.
Well, yes, everyone dies.
Well, yeah, no.
That is what happens.
Just the idea of this is really funny because it's just a giant torpedo that is now letting in all the ocean water.
Yeah, that's the thing is I wonder if it even has to attack anyone. It's just like, yep, nope, here comes the ocean. Now my job
Holy
here is
shit,
done.
this thing gets a good showing. Fuck this M1 Astray, I guess. Just fucking right through it. Oh. I like the Geo-GOOhN though. Yeah, no, I actually do think this is a better design than even the regular GOOhN because I like the little fins going around the body and the waist and such, and I like the claws. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the armor just has a little bit more to give it personality to offset the fact that the legs are pretty plain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this.
So there's no.
This is the one I would buy a kit of.
Yeah, for sure. So there's no upgrades or anything for the Geo-GOOhN, unfortunately. There was no Seed Freedom goons, but then,
which is weird. It seems really on brand for Seed Freedom. Thank you.
But yeah, so let's talk about one other aquatic friend from Seed though, just because it wouldn't support its own episode. Which would be the UMF-5 Xeno. Or Zeno, whatever, Zono. Which is this guy. I'll let you set up where it goes.
I'm trying to make a Zono the Enders joke, and I don't think I'm going to get there.
No, I don't think you are either. And I'm not going to support I'm not going to support it either, so...
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Hurtful. Why is this upside down? I mean, I guess this is just... But that's really funny
that's...
looking.
I mean, it's laying on its belly, but... Yeah, no. It's weird. Oh, okay, good. MHQ has the rear views that the wiki does not.
Oh, good. I was like, yeah. I was like, huh.
This is a weird guy, because even though it's for water, it's kind of like a big bug.
Yeah, I mean, it has, from the front, it kind of has, I feel like the way the arms and fingers and stuff are, there's, a little bit of, double Zeta in here. There's a little bit of unicorn. And from the back, you're like, oh, Dunbar. Yeah.
This is a weird guy. I kind of like it, too, though. So,
yeah.
I like the GOOhN a bit more because it's more cute, but this is actually a fairly solid guy. So, to describe this suit, the head is also built into the torso, much as expected. The way it's embedded, though, it's still basically a separate part. So you've got this weird head. For some reason, this is the only thing I don't like, and I never like it on a lot of Seed suits. It's got the giant Zaf crest that I'm never a huge fan of.
Yeah, I don't like the Zaf crest.
But other than that, which is built onto the top of the head, which is really funny considering the top of the head is near 90 degrees rotated forward. But yeah, so it just goes straight up for this the Zaft Mohawk thing. The mono eye track, it has openings all around the front of the body here. You've got a little mouthpiece that has two cables that run all the way into the backpack, weirdly. For the body, around it, very rounded body, you've got these gigantic vents on the front. You know what these remind me of? Is the Messer from the novel of Hathaway. So, so specifically, if I look at the way that the vents on the novel version of the Messer are on the chest, they stick out a lot like that. And that's just kind of what these remind me of, because rather than being built into the chest, they're sticking out. And I really like the way it looks. And also, it kind of makes it resemble gills, which is appropriate. Then, you've got
it's kind of how the vents are on the Penelope, right?
I think the Penelope has vents like that, yes. The around the head area of the torso, you've got darker blue armor, but it's got a ring of these on the shoulders and the leg little scoops. But you've got like this blue armor that has like a little ring of circles of green around it, which is cool looking. And then on the very back, so very hunchback thing going on with this guy in terms of design. You've got a big hump on the back with some like intake vents going on there. And then going down that intake into the backpack, you've got an arrangement of these vertical fins. And then, may as well just describe it since we're here, and it's part of the torso, really? You have a backpack connected onto the back with 2 thrusters. The torso part of it that goes around to the back is shaped like 2 pairs of, like, closed wings that are, like, put together.
Yeah, like bug
wings.
wings.
Which is weird. Especially because they have, like, a more sort of cyan color going on. Like, or very light blue, very baby blue. It just makes them, look like bug wings on the back. The shoulders...
I also like, with its feet folded like this, it looks like a parrot.
Oh, okay, I see. The shoulder armor is very rounded, very large pauldrons that go all the way down to, like, the wrist. The end wrist, I should say. This guy's got weird arms. We'll talk about in a moment. The shoulder armor ends in a point, has, like, a little vent cut into it, and it's got, like, a spike facing forward and back on it, which is kind of fun. The arms are very GOG-like also, which is funny because I feel like the GOOhN is, like, more like because it's the predecessor, much like how the GOG is, whereas this is the Zagok. But I guess looking at it, this is almost more of a high GOG with these arms, because it's like a section, and then you've got a double joint, a section of arm, double joint, one more section of arm, one more double joint, and then the hands are at the end of that. And these hands end in 3 huge claws. Not the same design as the Geo-GOOhN, though. You've got the thumb is on top, and then you've got 2 little finger claws. Also built into the hands are, yes, you have little, are these? Photon masers as well. They're just built into the hands, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then for the waist, you've got a fin on the front of the crotch there. You've got on the legs here. Also, it looks like the fin might be... It's supposed to be white. It's just green on this art, but if you look at it on the back art, you can see a bit of it there, and then on the upside down art, or laying down art. But anyway. Then the thighs, though, very rounded. They've got a little bit of panel lining detail and like a little small like vent on the outside of them there. The lower legs are very tiny and very thin. You've got these kind of tall knees pointed upward with a little cut in the front of them. Extremely small leg armor, though, going on here, connecting into a double joint for the foot. And then for the foot, you get this large piece of green armor around like the front of it that then has 2 toes on the front that are sectioned into like 3 sections and are, presumably movable. And then for the heel, you get this like large curved like hook for the heel. And then it's got some water jets on the bottom of the feet, presumably. And yeah, it's not really a transformation. It just kind of lays down, but this is actually a pretty cool guy, in my opinion. So the little circles going around the torso are the torpedo tubes. Now, not all of these are torpedo tubes, though, because it mentions that it only has 6 torpedo tubes. But...
So it has a bunch of fake ones to scare you.
But if you, look at it, it is firing from these, and there are clearly... Oh, is it not pasting the image? Oh, there we go. There are clearly more than 6 here. Oh, unless... Oh, you know what? It's 6 on each side, is the idea. So it's 12, so 6.
That's... Okay. I mean, that's good. I really liked the idea of them adding extra fake ones to scare you.
Yeah, it's weird that they consider it, one armament just for being on the side of the torso like that, I think. But, whatever. It's fine. And then, it also has a Lorenzini sensor, which is modeled after a shark's electroreceptor organ, which is for detecting electrical impulses in the water, which is a real thing, which is really cool. that the sharks have it. They have it like I believe it's like located below their nose, and it's weird because they can just feel electrical impulses in the water, and that's one of the things they use to find things in the water. It's actually really fucking cool. So the Xeno uses like something based on that in idea for how it detects in the water.
And it would be, that would work way better against mobile suits, huh?
Yeah.
Like, no disrespect to sharks, but robots really run on electricity.
So yeah, the Xeno though, I think is a pretty alright guy. I don't like the head fin. That's the one thing I would remove, is that large head fin. But I mean, otherwise, it's like a weird bug Hygog, and I think that's cool. This linear cannon tank got fucking wrecked right there.
Yeah. This, I think, like, this is my favorite design of the thing. I like you, I would remove the head fin. And then the Geo-GOOhN is also really sick. But it's just like, hey, some like, really underappreciated designs from Seed.
We do have some...
And both Okawara classics.
Yeah, we have some fun things going on here. So, with the Sete, so the way the doors open on the chest, they just slide open, and then the torpedoes are behind them, so a bunch of little doors there. And then we've got just a fancier view of the hand, but I like these claws. And I like that it's got the little masers in the hands instead. I think that's a fun... I always think hand beam cannons are fun. So...
Yeah. As the wiki notes, it makes it more accurate because you can aim because it's on your hands. Yeah, it's not
on a fixed location. So, yeah. And that would be it for today, though. Still a relatively short episode, but hey, we got to include one extra Seed guy, because this guy would not carry a whole episode on his own. And yeah.
We could do one more. We could do one more amphibious mobile suit while we're here.
What would that be? Oh, yeah, I guess we could do the Ash. Okay, yeah. Yeah, because it's not like there's anything related to it, I don't think. So.
Yeah, not to my knowledge.
The Ash is a freak.
The Ash... Yeah, the Ash feels like this is what a different, Xeon Aquatic suit would have as its secret transformation in Build Fighters or something.
Yeah, this thing is weird. I kind of like it in spite of it being incredibly ugly. So, the torso and head are all one piece again. The middle of this torso head section is in yellow, and it's got two little guns inside of, They're like on a track, so they can move kind of like Elmeth style, I guess, is kind of how I think of them. These are... Let me see what these are, even. Are these the dual phonon... No, because... No, I guess it is. Yeah, this is the dual phonon maser cannon. Oh, because...
Wait, which
these
ones?
two. Yeah.
Oh, those ones. Yeah.
Yeah, because it says that they are surrounded by the mono eye track, which, as you can see... Yeah, around that is the mono eye track. It goes all the way around the whole body, and by default is on the bottom. The bottom mono eye track has one extra little cut in it. And then the top mono eye track is very much like the Geo-GOOhN also, with having the cuts like that going on. And then the side ones are just simple. Then you have two little vents to the sides of the eye, one on either side. Then you've got two sections of torso below that, just in white. And then one more green section connecting into the waist. For the shoulders, large shoulder armor. These large shoulder armors have big energy cannons on them. One, on the front of the shoulder, one on the back. And, of course, these shoulder armors can fold down to aim with the arm. So you can see, in that screenshot there, when it's aiming its hands forward, these these shoulders just fold downward. For the forearms and whatnot, you've got white armor. The bicep has just a panel line cut on it. Does have a dual axle, double joint going on. Then for the forearms, they're mostly in green. They've got a little vent on them. You've got these two giant pincer claws. And these pincer claws can actually emit little beams. You can see the little beam emitters from the end of them to help with cutting. And then, instead of hands, at the end of these, you've got a little bit of an overhang from the wrist that, like, covers the outside of them, and you have these, like, little 3-barrel... Are these machine guns? It says that these are dual machine guns because there's one in each hand, I guess. So these are, like, machine guns in the hands.
Given that they're called dual machine guns like that, I wonder if these are little Gatlings.
And then,
which, you know, for our non-gun people out there or whatever, the distinction here being that only one barrel is firing at a time, and it spins to be able to fire more rapidly.
And then, for the waist, crotch piece is just like a vent facing down at an angle. It is white with red on the inside. No real skirts or anything going on. The legs, you can actually see, like, where they're plugged into the waist, like, you can see the joint. And then they're kind of tall. The armor pops up on the top of the thighs, and these thighs are really thin. And they've got some orange armor on the front of them. You got these, like, little vents also on, like, the top of them. You can see them if you look at the transformation art, too. That's the thigh right there. And then you've got the double joint. You've got the lower legs have kind of tall knees going on. And you've got some panel lines going on with the outside of these legs. The legs the feet kind of pop out forward at, like, an angle, and it's got a foot piece that is like a gray wedge with 2 green claws like, as, you know, frontal, like, toe pieces, and then 1 big block for the heel. Finally, the backpack on this is basically, like, 2 large, like, torpedo containers. These are huge, though. These are...
Well, the fun thing is these are multi-purpose. You can load them with torpedoes or missiles, depending on how much time you're planning to spend in the water.
And then, going throughout them, though, you also have, like... As you go down them, you've got these, like, little vents on the sides, and then on the back you've got, like, these thrusters on them. And then, also in the back middle of the backpack, it's got, like, it's got the Zaft Mohawk, but it's, like, on the back, so I don't mind it as much, because it's, like...
Well, isn't it like the
there, too.
It's more like the GINN wing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really weird, though, because it's only got one, and it's, like, in the middle.
It is. I mean, you know, it's like I don't know. I was gonna come up with some things, and I think there's, like, some, like, I think there's an argument to made for this thing. I don't know, to, like, manipulate, like, I don't know. This is an aerodynamics or water dynamics, aqua dynamics, whatever thing that I, like, am vaguely aware of, but not enough to really say anything.
It's not really a rear skirt because it's connected onto the torso, but you can see the back of it also has, like, 2 more of these little flaps with, like, thrusters facing downward, and it kind of, you know, protects the back from the back there. So it's, like, the one other piece of the back that I wanted to mention. This design's so weird, and it's, like, ugly, but in a way that I kind of like, in spite of it being ugly.
It really gets sold for me because these are the pre-production colors. The production colors, where it is gunmetal gray, slate gray, fuchsia, and, like, acid green, is just like, oh, this rules.
Yeah. It's such a weird machine. Also, I think it's really funny that these are supposed to be machine guns, but they are clearly firing beams here, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, it's in different shots, it's shown different ways.
Of course.
Because it's seen.
This machine's kind of cool, though. And you can see... So, the way that the beam claw goes is not quite like I expected. It looks
good.
like it does the same thing as, like, the Infinite Justice's leg, where, like, the beams connect to one another between the 2, like, prongs.
But it's this, like, jagged mess. It's so cool. I really like what a nightmare this is.
It's just such a weird machine. And I kind of like how fucking weird it is.
It feels like the designers, like, the in-universe, the designers, like, fully abandoning aesthetic to just try and make the most, like, grisly nightmare they can. And I really like it.
We first see these attacking the orphanage that Kira is at. because it's like trying to assassinate Lacus, and they have so we have to mention they have a self-destruct system so that no secrets can fall into the enemy hands. And yeah, that's like when these are first seen, though, is when Durandal, for whatever reason, in spite of them doing nothing, I hate it because this is the only thing that gets Kira and Lacus involved is, they tried to assassinate us. Well, now we have to get involved. And I'm like, wait.
I don't think this is true, though.
Yes,
like
that's how it's framed, yes.
And that is how it plays. But Lacus was always gonna get involved.
Yeah, I know.
And if they'd done a better job, yes, assassinate this one.
But also,
I agree.
The problem with it in the show is before this happened, we had the 10 billion 9/11s happen with the colony drop, and you have Kira and them just watching it, and they're like, oh, sad.
True. They, and also the other thing is if you don't do this, the odds are they side with you eventually. They have a lot of misgivings about you, but if you don't give them reason to fully
like this is the reason the audience is, because everything he says up to this point is kind of just right. But then, but also we have to remember he sent assassins to kill Lacus, so he's evil. And I'm like, well, maybe Lacus should have stepped up instead of hiding in an orphanage.
It's also crazy because, listen, this is a conversation that's been had before, but, like, the show fails to explain the Destiny plan properly, because what they actually say is, like, a clearly good thing, and the thing that they forget to say is, like, so the way the Destiny plan is pitched is, we're going to run aptitude and DNA tests on you and see what you're good at. And the thing they don't say is, and then you have to do that. If they said that, people would get it. But everyone's just...
And it also, it ties into the eugenic stuff of Zaft with all that.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. And, like, that part's not great. But the part, like, the example that he gives is he's just like, so it turns out you're really good at being a mobile suit pilot. What if you'd just known that early on and could make decisions based on what you knew you'd be good at? And it's like, that sounds like a good thing to me.
And within, like, the cosmology of the Seed universe, it's also just like, it's we always do this. We always do this whenever Destiny comes up. Yeah. Anyway, the Ash is a cool machine, actually. Its transformation is so weird, also, just to describe that real quick. So, the transformation is, it lays down, the arms just kind of face forward. It doesn't really transform all that much until you get to the legs, where the legs, like, flip upward. It's got these...
They did, like, dislocate?
Yeah, they dislocate forward and then tuck backwards. This is such a weird-looking transformation.
It's especially... I feel like one of the really interesting details is if you... I'll pull up the mobile suit mode again to put alongside it. This part that covers the thighs detaches and becomes like a bar connecting the thighs to the knees.
Yeah, it's so weird. Oh, and then, like, in the leg also, because it's not really visible with the, in, like, the rear art. Let me double check it. Oh, it is visible. So, the way that, like, the thruster kind of, points now with it is just kind of interesting, like the way that this... I guess it's staying the same, but it looks like... No, there's gotta be something weird going on with how this is tucking in there, though. In terms of 3D.
I think this part here, like, flips sort of down and in front, and this slides in behind a little bit.
It's really weird. And yeah, it just kind of lays flat. It's not really much of a mode, but it's cool.
Also, where does this come from?
That's the top mono eye.
Is this the bit
you can see
behind...
a little bit of it there.
Okay, but then where's the gun? The gun isn't right there. There should be yellow right here.
I think it's just...
I guess this is just an art error.
I think it's just not drawn.
Fine. It happens. It happens. Because I guess you're right. You can see the bottom, this part of the mono track right here. So that must be what's going on. But I expected to see the yellow of this.
It's really
part
hard
here.
to see, but if you look here, you can see the cuts on the top there, making the
you're right.
little eyes there.
It really was just the lack of this, like, mazer turret here.
Yeah, I think that's just animation or, like, sete error there.
I fucking love these guys. What a janky
It's
little
like a disaster, and I feel like I should hate it, but I kind of like it. This is like, it's like when I'm like into some of the crossbone designs where I'm like, this is really ugly, and I kind of like it.
I feel like it looks kind of like not actually scary, but it looks like it's supposed to be scary, and like nothing in C does.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, this is a weird, like, buggy, mantis-y killer machine.
Funny how they keep giving all the bug
in a way
theming,
that I
like
really
even
appreciate.
more bug theming, I should say, to the aquatic suits. Not that the GINNs and stuff don't have it with like the way their wings are designed, but just.
But they're so limited by the basic structure of a mobile suit. They won't stop with just the basic, humanoid bipedal form. Mm. They won't play with it. Whereas this, like, fucking scyther with a gun motherfucker.
Yeah. Alright. Well, now with that. 6. Where can people find you and your work online?
Hi. You can find me on Blue Sky, 6.scanlinemedia.com. You can also find my work at scanlinemedia.com or patreon.com/scanlinemedia. Do a lot of work over there. I wonder, we should talk about some Toku stuff again, because I have a whole Toku podcast now that we've been running for a while, and it would be fun to talk Toku. Toku designs are cool.
Yeah. I mean, usually they tend to have like some weird. It's weird because sometimes I have like a very like specific point in Toku designs I like. I see a lot of them because of a toy reviewer I watch actually really likes collecting all like the Sentai robots, and then Wotafa will review some of the modern Toku ones, and some of them are a little much for me. Like, especially like the ones that get away with like being able to put a lot more CG, because especially when they're costumes, obviously you have to design the costume for a person to be in it, so they end up having these like really big blocky limbs and whatnot because the person has to wear it. Toku mecha design is fascinating. It's its own entire thing that's very separate in a way from like a lot of other mecha design, but it's interesting. I just know that like.
What do you think of?
Yeah, sorry.
What do you think of the Deca Ranger Robo?
Deca Ranger Robo. Double check.
Here, I'll post it. I'm just trying to get a decent image.
This is like one of the 90s ones, right? Or aughts?
This is early 2000s.
Like, this is like the era I think is probably my favorite, is like late 90s or like 90s through the aughts, I think, tend to have like a lot of good ones. This guy's great. Look at that guy. It's so chunky.
It's fun.
Again, it's one of those ones that's really funny because you can see the way in which this has to be worn by a human, which obviously because we're seeing the human wear it, but I actually have a lot of art books that have the actual like art for them, like the 2D art, and even in the 2D art it's interesting seeing how the artist will try to adapt for having a human wear it, but it's still got some bits that they have to modify for the final suit, and I find that interesting. I just find it interesting. But, yeah.
I wish I could get art of it using the signal cannon, which I think is my favorite part of it, is it has a gun that is also like a traffic light. And it's fucking cool. Just because it has the red, yellow, green. Not like it's, structure. Okay, here's a shot. Okay, this is, I think, of a toy of it, but it's still, you can see. It's a fucking cool gun.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the art, and I'm just like, some classics of guys that I like is like, this is called The Big Trailer, and look at that guy.
Yeah, I remember this guy.
I had a toy of that guy also, which is probably why I have some like of it. I also like the Galaxy Mega / Astro Megazord. I actually really like this one just because the colors work for me really well. I will admit, I sometimes tend to like it when they're not just a combining robot of 5 vehicles of disproportionate colors. That's just how I am. I know this about me.
I mean, it's just better, it just tends to lead to better design.
That being said, I think Daisugen, even though it's the overplayed one, because Mighty Morphin is still the thing they try to appeal to in the West, I do think Daisugen's a good design overall. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have art of like lots of random little ones. And yeah. So you've got a Toku show, and yeah, we should probably cover more. I have to dig up some more books of them, but actually, my favorite Toku design, of course, goes to one of the enemy designs. This guy. Look at this guy. He's also from like Mighty Morphin or whatever. The Japanese Z Ranger, I think. This is one of the enemy guys, though, and I just think this robot's really cool.
Oh, I wonder if I can find the picture. There's a picture from the Deca Ranger movie where it fucking, like, they just do a series of, can I find this in time? There's they hit a series of, like, Gundam reference poses in a row with that movie's, like, special, look.
It makes me sad because I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, right, I forgot Mariki. The problem is, even when it comes to like the designs I like in Toku, though, of course all the bad guys are my favorite because that's the one that has like mecha designers I know on them. Like Mariki made this guy, and I'm like, look at that guy, and you can tell by the shadow it's Mariki.
Okay, I found a shot of it. This is not the best shot, so I will have to explain a little bit what is happening here. But it hits the ground Gundam pose where it slams its shield into the ground and then uses it as a mount for its rifle.
Oh, okay, that's pretty fun.
It's cool.
But, like, man,
it's cool.
Why? I know why. It's because the bad guys have a little more freedom with what they do with them. But like, look at this guy. He's a fan and he rules. I think these guys, a lot of these guys are from Go Busters, I think, is where a lot of these suits I'm grabbing are from.
Mariki does a bunch of stuff for Deca Ranger, and there are some really cool ones. Let me see if I can
That's like the thing I've learned is, like, when it comes to, like, the bad guy designs, that's where I'm, like, really into the designs for a lot of these guys. Like, this is a Digimon, and I love it.
Oh, this image is so small. Why do you do this to me? I know the original version of this image is bigger than this. Okay, I can't find the concept art for... I can find the concept art for this, but only super tiny. But this is Mariki's basically like angel lady mecha.
Yeah.
It's fucking cool.
No. She's got also like a glaive.
Or...
Look at this guy! This guy's great! Going through this book where I'm pulling ones that I specifically know are Mariki, like this one, because you can tell because of the shadows.
Here's another Mariki. Here's the God Pounder.
Okay, that's an extremely good name.
And it does in fact do an MMA takedown and ground and pound. It beats the shit out of the Deca Rangers.
I feel like though, like these guys end up being a lot of my favorites are like the bad guys just. It feels like bad guy suits, in spite of being like a suit of the week, get really cool designs. Like, look at this guy. There's not a Mariki one, I don't think, but this is another Go Busters guy. Like, look at that. Now the suits tend to obviously have to tone things down and aren't as cool looking as the art sometimes, but sometimes they look really good, actually, so, you know.
What about the big drawer?
Big drawer?
It's a dresser.
That guy rules. That thing does rule, actually.
It's great.
But yeah, but I tend to just like a lot of the monster designs, like especially in art for a lot of things. Like I've got a lot of Kamen Rider art, villain art. I have a lot of Sentai villain art. I have I don't have it on me, but Garo had a lot of really cool ones. The various horrors from Garo.
Sure.
And yeah, it's just cool designs. Because, I mean, again, they're allowed to do so much more with a bad guy, is the thing, too, I feel like. Which is weird, because, again, it is you would think they would tell them, well, we have to make a suit for it for a weekly episode, so tone it down. But no, usually they let them go ham.
Well, and it's also like, we don't need to worry about this breaking. It's going to be in like 2 scenes ever, right? So practical concerns get dialed back.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's true. And we're not like recording it every week. We might bring it back once, or we'll reconfigure the suit into like, you know, we'll modify it for like appearing again later or something, but never it's not like a deal where this needs to be shown every week. It needs to work every week. Hold on. Go Busters has an enemy of the week that is an eraser.
Oh yeah,
I love this guy. I love that he's got like rotating, like he's got like a monocle with bigger eyes going on. I'm wondering if that rotates at all.
They reuse this design. They sort of repurpose it for Blade, I think. There's some, like, you will see designs that are like, oh, they took the previously existing suit and did some slight modifications to it. By the way, here's the one from the movie.
Ooh,
it's a fucked up, Zaku tank.
But yeah, no, I'm not like against these designs. I think they're actually really neat. I just I would need to find more art resources for them. But yeah, there's some fun ones. There's so many motherfucking tuba guys here in Go Busters. That's just the one I happen to have the art book for right now. But yeah, we got all these tuba guys. Anyway, all right.
Finally, I'm going to subject you to Taiyaki Master.
Oh, well, let's see. Amazing.
He's really good at making
Taiyaki.
Taiyaki.
I could gather, especially given. Okay, yeah.
It's a terrible episode. It's the worst episode
really?
of that show, but it is a funny bit. Oh, it's really bad, but it's a funny.
You ever had
bit.
Taiyaki? I've never had it.
I have had fake Taiyaki. I've had Taiyaki that isn't filled with red beans, so it doesn't feel like it counts. Yeah. It was filled with like custard or something. I was like, sure, this is all right, but like this isn't. Really
one of the
bentos
that I could have gotten, like, because they had a few bento options when when I was in Japanese class, and I could have gotten it in one. The one I picked didn't have it. But yeah, we had like various bentos, and I think that was like my first time seeing Taiyaki, and I was like, hey, it's the little fish things. I've seen these in video games and stuff. But I never got to eat one. But I remember seeing them. I do distinctly remember seeing them. All right. Well, I think we're done. Right. Oh, I didn't say where I'm at. I am at Low Poly Robot on Busky and post games and stuff. Probably already following me. Come on, you stayed this long for me and Six rambling about Toku stuff. You probably know me. All right.
I don't have any quotes for gooning. Sorry.
Peace!